friend Nicole called me and was like, "What's going on? Did you see Justin Bieber's tweet?" And I was like, "About what?"
So mean. My nose is not big. Your nose is big.
My nose is small.
You have a big nose.
Now it's big. Okay. Look at your nose.
It's not.
It's gigantic.
Is this a big nose? You have a big
You
nose.
can smell me from over there.
I can't smell anything.
What happens when a superstar's playful comment reopens questions the world thought were buried? Justin Bieber's remark on Madison Beer's post wasn't just casual, it reignited whispers that trace back to when she was barely a teen and he was already a global icon. Is this harmless banter or a storm Hailey Bieber can no longer ignore? The glimmering surface of Hollywood often hides shadows deeper than anyone dares to imagine. Beneath the glittering red carpets and stage smiles lies a world woven with secrecy, manipulation, and betrayal. When names like Justin Bieber, Diddy, and Usher get mentioned in the same breath, it isn't just about music or legacy, it's about rumors of hidden agendas, troubling alliances, and whispers of exploitation that fans can't seem to ignore. For years, the industry has danced around uncomfortable truths, leaving people wondering if those at the top built their empires on pure talent, or something much darker. But how much of what we see is the real story, and how much is carefully staged to keep fans distracted? As Justin Bieber's meteoric rise captivated the world, fans saw the picture of youthful innocence. A boy from Canada with floppy hair singing his heart out on YouTube before being plucked into stardom by Usher and Scooter Braun. To millions, his journey felt like a fairy tale. Yet behind closed doors, darker narratives began to emerge. Stories of industry figures fighting for control, whispers of inappropriate exposure to a world Justin was far too young to navigate, and constant questions about who was truly pulling the strings. Could the boy who symbolized pop purity have been a pawn in a much larger game? When Sean Diddy Combs enters any conversation, it's impossible not to notice how his name circles around allegations that refuse to disappear. For decades, Diddy has been linked to controversies surrounding parties that allegedly served as more than just harmless gatherings. To outsiders, they were glitzy nights filled with celebrities and music, but insiders have described them as wild, unsettling, and far from glamorous. Rumors swirled that young artists and hopeful stars often found themselves in compromising situations, enticed by the promise of fame but unprepared for the cost. So when Justin Bieber was spotted mingling in Diddy's world, speculation exploded. Was it simply mentorship, or was it something more sinister? Industry insiders couldn't ignore how often Justin appeared under the influence of older, more powerful figures. The cameras showed him smiling and having fun, but behind those flashes of fame, fans noticed his increasingly erratic behavior, sudden breakdowns, and troubling interviews. He admitted to spiraling into dangerous habits: alcohol, pills, lean, and other substances that nearly consumed him. To the public, it was the story of another young star losing his way. But those watching closely asked who introduced him to that darkness, and who profited while he fell apart. Was Justin's rebellion truly his own, or was it carefully orchestrated chaos? At the center of this swirling storm stood Usher, the man credited with discovering Bieber and guiding his career. At first, Usher was celebrated as the big brother figure, the mentor who brought Justin into the spotlight. But as time passed, fans began questioning the true dynamics of that relationship. Reports surfaced of Usher allegedly encouraging Justin to learn the ropes of the industry through experiences that seemed far from innocent. Some accounts painted a disturbing picture of a mentor blurring the line between guidance and exposure to destructive environments. If a mentor is supposed to protect, why did Justin's life spiral so dangerously out of control under Usher's watch? Then came the alleged parties, secretive, high-profile gatherings where stories of inappropriate encounters surfaced. Former attendees described scenes where young stars mingled with industry veterans, and the lines between fun and exploitation blurred. Diddy's name appeared again and again in these accounts, raising red flags about his influence and power. Questions began swirling about whether Justin had been drawn into these hidden worlds before he was even old enough to understand the consequences. What does it say about the industry if protecting a star becomes less important than using them as currency in a dangerous game? As Justin reached his breaking point, his public image cracked. Paparazzi captured him stumbling, lashing out, even collapsing under pressure. He admitted to reckless behavior, but what fans didn't see was the machine behind him, the handlers, mentors, and moguls who profited from his fame regardless of the cost to his mental health. At times, Justin's own confessions hinted that he'd seen too much too young, that the innocence fans adored had been stripped away far earlier than anyone realized. Could Justin's struggles have been the direct result of adults in power failing him deliberately? The alleged connection to Diddy continued to haunt the narrative. Years later, new accusations surfaced about Diddy's behavior, shocking even those who thought they had heard it all. The stories painted him not only as a manipulative mogul, but as someone who allegedly orchestrated situations that endangered young talent. Each headline revived speculation about Justin's early years and whether his proximity to Diddy had been just a coincidence or evidence of something much darker. Is it possible that Justin Bieber was one of the many young stars swept into a cycle of exploitation hidden behind fame? The more fans looked back, the more dots seemed to connect. Justin's confessions about drug use aligned with periods when he was most visible around industry elites. His rapid decline contrasted sharply with the fortune others made from his name. While fans worried about his well-being, insiders appeared more concerned with keeping the brand alive. Even his supposed protectors, figures like Usher, were called into question as fans wondered if they had allowed Justin to be pushed into environments no teenager should ever face. Why was protecting Justin never the priority when his downfall was so profitable for others? By the time Justin began to recover, marry, and distance himself from certain figures, the damage had already been done. His story became a cautionary tale of child stardom, but beneath the surface, it remained a story of power dynamics, control, and alleged corruption. Whispers suggested that Justin's distance from Diddy and others wasn't simply personal growth, it was survival. As lawsuits, investigations, and scandals caught up with powerful figures, fans revisited Justin's past and asked the haunting question: what did he experience that he has never publicly revealed? If Justin were to tell the full truth, would the world even be ready to hear it? Every rise has a cost, and in Justin Bieber's case, that cost may have been far greater than fans ever realized. His struggles weren't random, they seemed tethered to a pattern, a system designed to chew up young stars and spit them out once their value had been drained. With Diddy's name resurfacing in investigations, and Usher facing backlash for his own alleged involvement in questionable dynamics, Justin's story feels less like a personal downfall and more like a symptom of a corrupt machine. So the question remains, was Justin Bieber simply another victim of fame, or was he deliberately targeted by an industry where exploitation hides in plain sight? In the end, the storm of drama leaves us with one haunting truth. No matter how powerful, loved, or untouchable celebrities may seem, their lives are tangled webs of conflict, secrets, and fragile emotions. Every feud, every betrayal, and every whispered rumor reveals just how human they really are. And yet, in that chaos, we keep watching, searching for meaning, for clarity, for answers that may never come. Because when the lights fade and the curtains close, one question still lingers. Was this spectacle a tragedy, a lesson, or simply another chapter in a story that will never truly end?